In this video, we're going to be finding the slope and the y-intercept of a line using its graph. So let's go ahead and let's just refresh our memories really quickly on what our equation for slope is. Because remember, slope is our m value, right? So slope is our rise over our run. So it's our change in y over our change in x, which means that it's our y2 value minus our y1 value over our x2 value minus our x1 value. So what we're going to be finding for each of these graphs is we're going to be finding its slope and its y-intercept. We'll just put y-int for right now. So there's a couple things that we can do, and we'll kind of do them as we go throughout. So on our first graph here from A, we see we have a positive sloping line, and it's given us 2 points. And so to find our slope, one of the things that we can do is we can simply just count our rise over our run. So our rise would be the change in the y's, and our run would be the change in x's. So my rise would be going up 1, 2, 3, 4. So I go up 4, and my run would be 1, 2, and I would have run 2 here. And so I could have set that up that my slope is 4, my rise, over my run, which is 2, and that actually is going to reduce to 2 over 1, or 2. So here we have a slope of 2. Now our y-intercept is going to be the point where our line crosses the y-axis. Let's use a different color. Let's use blue. So here we see that that is happening at 0, -1. And so we can write that as -1 or 0, -1. And that would be the solution for our slope and our y-intercept for letter A. So let's go ahead and let's move over to letter B and let's give that a try. So we're going to do this one a little bit different. Instead of counting our rise and our run, we're going to calculate it this time. And so here we see that we have an x1 value and a y1 value, and I just picked them because I came across them first. And then this would be my x2 value, and this would be my x1 value. And so technically I can plug those in. And I can say, okay, well, -2 minus my y1, which was 2, over my x2, which was 4, minus my x1, which was 0. And so I can calculate that and get a -4 over 4. Oops, let's try that again. Over 4, which gives me a slope of -1. My y-intercept is still the point that crosses the y-axis, so 0, 2, or I can just write 2. So 2 or 0, 2. And so now I have the solution, my slope and my y-intercept for example B. I'm going to have you try example C on your own. So I'm going to have you go ahead, push pause, and do the problem. And then when you're done, push play, and let's see if you were right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to count on this one, and I'm going to see that I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went down 4. It's kind of a little bit harder to count on this one. And I'm going to run, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to run 6. So I'm going to have a -4 over 6. And that is going to reduce to a -2/3. Sometimes when it's hard to see how you're falling, if you're counting the right lines, that's when it's a hint that maybe you should calculate it using the equation that we have. And here we have a y-intercept. This one's a little bit different, but we see that it crosses at, we're pretty sure that that's exactly where it's crossing, is at 0, 1. So this is where it's crossing, is at 0, 1. So write down 1 or 0, 1. And now we have our slope and our y y-intercept. All right, so go ahead and try letter D on your own, and then when you're done, push play and let's see if you're right. Okay, so I'm going to calculate this one. So here I have my x1, and here's my y1, and here's my x2, and here's my y2. So I'm going to have 0 minus -1 over 4 minus 2, and that's going to give me a slope of 1 over 2, and my y-intercept is, it looks like it's crossing right here at 0, -2. So -2 or 0, -2. And now we've found our slope and our y-intercept for that graph.